What is your name? Edgar Valdés Villarreal. How old are you? Where were you born? Little Tejas. What do you do for a living? Dog. New Travelo. In a dramatic turn of events, the lights of justice finally reach one of the most elusive characters of Mexican organized crime. Edgar Valdés Villarreal, known as La Barbie, is captured in a police operation that puts an end to years of playing on the edge with the law. Edgar Valdés Villarreal came into the world on August 11, 1973 in Laredo, Texas, possessing both Mexican and American nationality. His story began at United High School, where his American football coach gave him the nickname that would accompany him for the rest of his life. That is, he is the Barbie. This came from his pale skin, blonde hair, and clear eyes, creating a resemblance to Ken Carson, the iconic companion of the Barbie doll. Valdés's arrest record began at 18 years old in Texas at the end of his preparatory stage. In 1992, he faced a detention for negligent homicide after being caught driving in the wrong direction and running over a school teacher. Subsequently, this charge was dropped, but these episodes marked the first chapters of a life that would take an even darker turn. Abandoning conventional paths, Valdés Villarreal delved into the world of narcotics while still attending high school on the streets of Laredo. Seduced by the prospect of quick money, the young entrepreneur decided to reject his father's offer to finance his university studies, opting instead to focus on the burgeoning illicit business. Barbie's criminal trajectory soon attracted the attention of the authorities. At the age of 21, in 1994, his name echoed in police files once again when he was arrested in Springfield, Missouri. This time, a drug trafficking arrest warrant issued by a New Orleans District Federal Court marked a crucial turn in the young trafficker's life. With the shadow of American justice looming over him, Valdés Villarreal crossed the river into Mexico in 1998. Finding refuge in Nuevo Laredo, Tamaulipas. There he joined the local gang Los Chachos, who completely controlled the trafficking of illegal substances in the city. In an unexpected twist, Barbie's path intertwined with a dangerous Sinaloa federation led by the Beltran Leyva brothers, who were partners at that time with Joaquin El Chapo. His ability to establish connections in the United States, recruit police and military for the cartel's cause, and his friendship with Marcos Arturo Beltran Leyva, alias El Barbas, the cartel's boss, earned him a rapid rise in the criminal group's ranks. Barbie's life, on the other hand, has been full of controversies. One of the most surprising aspects is that despite his prominent role in the Federation and his apparent loyalty to the Beltran Leyva brothers, Barbie acted as an informant for the Drug Enforcement Administration, the United States Anti-Drug Agency. In 2004, for example, he sought to have the charges against him dropped by the Texas Department of Justice, but he refused to betray those who had given him importance within the Federation by refusing to inform on El Chapo Guzman and Turo Beltran Leyva. According to an official document that journalist Nabel Hernandez had access to, it was revealed that from 2008 to 2010, he collaborated with the Drug Enforcement Administration and the Federal Bureau of Investigation as an informant through an intermediary. This double life as an informant was completely unknown both to his partners in the drug world and to the corrupt officials he claimed to pay hefty bribes to, including the former Secretary of Federal Public Security, Genaro Garcia Luna. So, as he advanced in the organized crime scene, Barbie found himself embroiled in a fierce struggle for control of the plaza at the end of 2004. His opponent, the fearsome group of the Zetas, the armed wing of the Gulf Cartel. The epicenter of this battle was the strategic plaza of Nuevo Laredo, a border territory where approximately 7,000 daily crossings to the United States were made, according to data from the Attorney General's office. Surprisingly, only 10% of these crossings could be checked, making this place one of the most coveted by mobsters and human traffickers after Tijuana to San Diego, where up to 50,000 vehicles crossed per day. The conflict was not only limited to Nuevo Laredo, but also waged a fierce fight for control of the strategic port of Acapulco. The territorial war in the world of drug trafficking was at its peak, and Barbie played a crucial role in this deadly conflict. These are the images and sounds of one of the bloodiest confrontations that the federal police have had with hitmen from the Gulf Cartel on the streets of Reynosa, Tamaulipas. This story gets even more complicated with the formation of Los Negros. A group emerged to confront the operations of the Gulf Cartel and its feared armed wing, Los Zetas. However, after the fracture between the Beltran-Leyva cartel and the Sinaloa cartel, Los Negros redirected their loyalty by allying with the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas. Under the command of Valdés, Villarreal, and overseen by the Sanchez brothers in Mexico, this criminal group has woven a complex network, even employing gangs like the Mexican Mafia and Mara Salvatrucha to carry out illegal activities, including taking lives. Initially rooted in Tamaulipas, Los Negros have expanded their tentacles towards Nuevo Laredo and the states of Coahuila. Their criminal presence has also been seen in San Luis Potosí, Veracruz, Michoacán, Guerrero, Zacatecas, Morelos, and Sonora, revealing an operational network spanning much of Mexico. The battle also marked the beginning of a cartel war that left thousands of victims and that in some regions of Mexico still persists. Valdés Villarreal emerged as the closest figure to Arturo Beltran-Leyva, even remaining by his side when the Capo and his brothers broke their alliances with the Sinaloa cartel. La Barbie went through a period of silence, but his name resurfaced in December of 2009 when Navy forces carried out an operation in Cuernavaca, Morelos. This operation aimed to capture Arturo Beltran-Leyva, known as El Barbas and leader of La Barbie. According to unofficially unrefuted versions, Valdés Villarreal had met with Beltran-Leyva moments before his death. It is speculated that in the apartment where the boss was hiding, an opulent meal was being prepared, supposedly to receive a high-ranking Mexican army officer. After the operation that resulted in Barba's death, the idea was spread that Barbie had betrayed him. Loyalty in the murky world of drug trafficking proved to be as ephemeral as it was lethal. Among a dark history of homicides, trafficking of illegal substances, and other crimes, Barbie left a grim legacy in Mexico, the Tepito Union Foundation, a criminal group that has established itself as the strongest in operation in Mexico City and the main generator of chaos in the metropolitan area. Journalistic investigations revealed that in the year 2009, Barbie summoned all the families that traditionally dedicated themselves to the sale of substances in the infamous Bravo neighborhood of Tepito. He proposed they unite under his tutelage, and those who accepted to be part of this union fell under the leadership of Pancho Calagua, who was executed by the way in the year 2017. Since that moment, the Tepito Union has been expanding its influence in the center of the country. Their criminal activity ranges from extortion, selling substances, deprivation of liberty, piracy, to taking lives, leaving in their wake a wave of violence that to this date the authorities continue to struggle to dismantle. According to the Attorney General's office, Edgar Valdés Villarreal disputed the leadership of the Beltran-Leyva organization with Sergio Villarreal Barragan, known as El Grande, whose territory covered Coahuila, and with Hector Beltran-Leyva, identified as the launderer of the group's assets. Valdés Villarreal was better positioned among the three and had the backing of the Sinaloa cartel, led by El Chapo Guzman. But on August 30th of the year 2010, the operation that led to the arrest of Barbie was carried out with precision. The Mexican Federal Police managed to locate his hideout in a country house near the town of Salazar in Cañada de Alferez, state of Mexico. The operation was swiftly executed, resulting in the drug lord's arrest. This arrest marked the end of the escape of one of the most wanted criminals, putting an end to the manhunt that the authorities had been carrying out for a considerable time. In addition to the charges in Mexico for drug trafficking and homicide, it was revealed that Barbie was facing proceedings in the United States for substance distribution, adding an international component to her criminal profile. On the other hand, Valdés Villarreal's father-in-law, Carlos Montemayor González, was also arrested in Mexico City on November 23rd of the year 2010, thus contributing to the dismantling of a key part of the cartel's structure. At the time of his presentation to journalists after his capture in the year 2010, Barbie maintained a constant smile. This gesture caused controversy in the country, as many interpreted it as a mockery towards the authorities. Valdés Villarreal's facial expressions sparked debate about his attitude towards justice and the public perception of his arrest. Barbie allegedly provided United States authorities with details about the corrupt scheme of high-ranking Mexican government officials in their dealings with drug traffickers. He described how officials shared sensitive information with major cartels such as the Sinaloa Cartel and the Beltran Leyva. According to reports, Valdés witnessed how Mexican officials handed over identities, photographs, and locations of undercover Drug Enforcement Administration agents to these two cartels. The United States government, for its part, acknowledged in a document that thanks to the information provided by Barbie, they were able to save the lives of their agents. Later, in November of 2012, Valdés Villarreal handed over to journalist Anabel Hernandez a letter signed by him in which he claimed to have given millionaire bribes to Genaro Garcia Luna and his close collaborators. In the same letter, the boss alleged that the president at that time, Felipe Calderón, was leading meetings with mobsters. These revelations shed light on the depth of corruption that remains in the upper echelons of the Mexican government. In 2010, President Felipe Calderón summoned the leaders of the country's drug cartels to close a deal with all factions of organized crime. Then in 2015, this character was extradited to the United States, where 3 years later, a court in Atlanta, Georgia, sentenced him to 49 years and 1 month in prison, along with a fine of $192 million. This sentence was the result of his guilty plea for 4 drug trafficking offenses and 1 money laundering offense, a decision made to avoid the life sentence that was hanging over him. The prosecutor in the case argued that Valdés Villarreal imported tons of this illegal white powder substance, you know which one I'm referring to, into the United States while ruthlessly advancing to the highest ranks of one of Mexico's most powerful cartels, leaving countless lives destroyed by violence in his wake. In June 2018, the mobster was sentenced to 49 years and 1 month in prison in the United States. However, in 2022, his name disappeared from the list of prisoners under custody in the records of the United States Federal Prison Agency. The official page indicates that he is not in the custody of the Bureau of Prisons, which is the Federal Prison Agency. The American authorities have not yet revealed the whereabouts or the current situation of Barbie. Despite this absence in the records, a spokesperson for the POP clarified that this does not necessarily mean that Valdés Villarreal is free. Mexico's President Andrés Manuel López Obrador announced his government has requested explanations from the United States in response to the situation. These changes in the official prisoner registry coincide with the eve of the trial against Genaro Garcia Luna, whose process has been constantly postponed since January of the year 2023. In addition, there is a rumor circulating that Barbie could be considered a star witness in this trial. The uncertainty surrounding his legal situation also adds a new element of intrigue to the complex story of the drug trafficker's mobster. The illicit activities coordinated by Valdés Villarreal generated millions in profits that allowed him to integrate into a social circle where luxuries, weapons, and excesses were part of his daily routine. Barbie bought and also bankrupted the Atlético Veragüense football team in Panama, paying $300,000 for the club. After his arrest in 2010, the team faced obvious financial problems that affected the salaries of players and the team's technical staff. In 2019, Atlético Veragüense disappeared after being disaffiliated by the Panamanian Football Federation. He was looking for recognized status, as you realize, and lived apart in constant celebration. During the first decade of the 2000s, it was common to see the lieutenant of the Beltran Leyva in the most exclusive clubs of Acapulco, Mexico City, and other states of Mexico. With his well-groomed appearance, white skin, light brown hair, and a fake northern accent, he presented himself in social circles as a businessman and engineer by profession. Obtaining money through violence, he spent it on luxury items such as suits, shirts, shoes, and watches from very exclusive brands. Even on the day of his arrest, he was wearing a distinctive green Ralph Lauren polo shirt. His assets included properties in exclusive subdivisions and high-end vehicles. Annabel Hernandez had access to testimonies from Barbie's associates, who revealed his connections not only with politicians and officials whom he bribed, but also with prominent personalities from the entertainment world in Mexico. From the actress and model Arlette Terran, with whom he was romantically linked, to Sergio Mayer, Isabela Camil, Jenny Rivera, the comedian Platanito, the Masca brothers, and even the musical group Intocable, Barbie accumulated recognition in the most popular social circles of the time. In addition, the meetings took place in clubs like Babyo in Acapulco or Bar Bar in Mexico City, according to witnesses who spoke to the renowned journalist. And it is precisely in this last place where one of the biggest controversies involving him unfolded. In the early morning of January 25th of the year 2010, this player, Salvador Cabañas, suffered a gunshot wound to the head while he was with his wife at the Bar Bar in Mexico City. That same morning, Cabañas underwent surgery and it was reported that his health condition was serious but stable. The Attorney General's Office of the Federal District identified Jose Jorge Valderas Garza, alias Jesus El JJ, or El Modelo, as the aggressor through a recording from a closed-circuit camera. In addition, 3 people were arrested for resisting arrest. And you scold him, and what happens with JJ? What does he do?
Well,
Then I put him in one of my offices. Where? In Antisapan. He was there for about 3 months. The case of Barbie reveals a story of violence, drug trafficking, and connections with various social circles in Mexico, her luxurious lifestyle, and her links with politicians. Figures from the entertainment world and other prominent characters are testament to how the power of organized crime can infiltrate different aspects of society. If you enjoyed this video and want another one about a different mafia boss, leave your request here. I can't guarantee that I'll make them depending on who we're talking about, but still leave me your comments.